Morning, Thomas. How are you this morning?
Jonathan, I'm doing great and happy 2024 to everybody out there in creative knowledge for you.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, everyone.
All right, so what do you got for me?
All right, so it's a new year. A lot of companies, I've been hearing from a lot of different companies. They're all coming at me, asking me what they should be doing for the new year. How should they start? So I think a good point for us to start with is, what should companies be looking to do in this new year, at the beginning of the quarter, uh, and just kind of give people a background of how they should go forward.
All right, you know what? I think an important thing for companies to do is actually, especially if you got sales teams, is having the right type of sales program in place. A lot of businesses I know do a monthly sales quota for their salespeople. That's kind of like the average thing. I have found over the years the best thing that works is doing 2 week um, commission structure where you basically looking for production. Instead of getting like 12 months, you're getting 26, production weeks out of it.
Very
You're
correct.
pushing people. It's just human nature. People like will get lax, especially if it's a month long and say, oh, I got next week to cover it. But if you got 2 weeks, you can only be lax for a day or two. And you got to get on your horse and make things happen. You'll see your salespeople start making more money. There'll be more production and there's going to be more money for the company. And never cut back on your sales team. Actually feed them as much money as possible, but make their goals where it's like they really got to work their ass off for it, but it's obtainable at the same time.
It's interesting because I think it's very important for companies to actually have a plan in place, right? Most people came to us at the end of last year, a few weeks ago, and a lot are still coming, right now. But having that idea of what they're looking to spend, what kind of budget do they have for the new year, what did they do? I know they're going to probably finish up the numbers for 2023, but trying to really figure out how they did, for the entire year 2023, so they can put together a plan on what they should be spending. Um, it's
You know,
always a great thing to do that because if you know what you could spend based on what you did, you know where you may be able to take this for this year.
yeah. I mean, listen, they're predicting the realistic growth this year is going to be 0.9%, 0.9% for the GDP. That's it. So it's going to be tight. The economy is going to be tight. You got to look at your strategic landscape in front of you. You should be finding out what like the economic numbers in the forecast are, because that'll help you manage your business and be more strategic about it. So you can think how your products and services are going to move within, the elements of what the economy is going to be breaking down in 2024.
I think it's an important part that the owners, the managers of the company, they go through from top to bottom, look at what they did, find out the lessons learned from 23, figure out how to right the wrongs for this year, right? And take that with the next step. Like, what are you going to do next? How are you going to take this year to the next level? Whether the GDP increases a little bit or none or a lot, your business might be resistant or who knows, we don't know what business you may be in, but what we do know is that look at your data, look at what you did 23, look at what you did last month, look at what you spent, see where your
Mm-hmm.
marketing dollars are going, look at what your expenses, if you can cut expenses where you don't need them, certain things that you may just be, let's say, foolishly spending that money, try to take that money and put it into something that produces you ROI.
100%. Listen, when you got your marketing dollars, it has to go hand in hand with your sales team because you got to make sure your marketing dollars are going to get the best bang for their buck with your sales teams following up on everything. Because if you don't do that, you're going to fumble the ball and you're going to fumble your money, and you don't want to make that happen.
Every business is a little different. So depending on the business, depending on what who and what salespeople they have in their company, we've seen a lot of companies use specific marketing dollars per salesperson. So they
Mm-hmm.
will allocate X amount of dollars per year for this person, and they generate them leads. They get their inbound leads, right? They're getting these leads in. Now it's their job to sell it and bring in the sale. So um, look at a per person basis as well. So if you have 20 people, 50 people in your company, figure out what they did last year, what they spent in marketing dollars. Look at both paper marketing, digital marketing, and then you'll be able to figure out really what to spend for this year and how you can predict a little bit better, how to increase, how to grow, get more sales.
Listen, what you're saying is, and you're 100% correct. You got to look at your data from the past. You got to look at the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter of 2023, and even look at 2022 and see how things have gradually progressed or degressed. It depends what industry you're in. And you know what? Let that be a guide, but also let the forecasting what the economy is going to be happening, because you got to be smart about it, and that's what it comes down to. But that pretty much wraps up what we're trying to say. Is just be on top of your data and make sure your marketing dollars work with your sales teams.
It's one last point on that, like a real example. So having a client that will mention that they may be a little slow or they may be, busy. We've seen that based on the industry that there are certain businesses that are just seasonal, right? So it doesn't mean that they're closed for certain seasons. They might just be busier during the holidays or slower during the holidays based on the business. And it is important to compare month by month, compare quarter by quarter, but also make sure you compare year by year, because December of 23 might be the same or similar to December of 22. But if you try to compare January of 22 versus December of 23, the numbers might and probably will be all over the place. So compare proper months with proper years, and you can always do month by month and quarter by quarter, but always take everything with a grain of salt, because you don't know what you're looking at really until you have the whole picture in place.
Hey, listen, totally agree with you, Jonathan. I think this has been a good little educational segment, and you know what? Let's just wrap it up, and you have yourself a great day. If anybody has any comments, please comment below, but also please subscribe and hit those thumbs up. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Take care.